Hi, Homeworthy. I'm Ola. Welcome to my 700 square foot apartment in Los Angeles. Come on in.
You're watching Homeworthy, where we believe every home has a story.
Hi, I'm Olamide, but I go by Ola on the internet. I'm a product designer and I also make YouTube videos. And welcome to my 700 square foot apartment in Los Angeles. Long story short is I found my place online. I've been here under a year, and I guess what attracted me to this place is the windows, like the mahogany wood frame, just the bright light in here, the wood floors, the blue kitchen cabinets, the brick wall. There's just like so many interesting, charming pieces about this loft that really attracted me to the space. And the moment that I walked in, I knew that like she was the one. I don't know how to explain it. It's just the energy in here just felt right. It just felt like this was waiting for me. And it just, I don't know how to, I think serendipitous is the right word to say. My design style, I would describe it as eclectic. I like fun, I like bold colors, I like vintage pieces, I like things that tell a story. I like to do secondhand shopping a lot, so most of my pieces are secondhand. And I just like things that just look interesting, that tell a conversation. So when I'm looking at things or picking things, I just want to make sure that like the energy feels right. I hope that doesn't sound woo-woo, but a lot of the things that I pick, it just speaks to me. It feels like we belong to each other. Now we're in the living room area, probably one of my favorite rooms. I'm probably gonna say that for each room, but this is my favorite room, mainly because it's really colorful, it's punchy, it's bold. My favorite piece in here is this couch that I bought off of Facebook Marketplace last year. Immediately when I saw it, I knew that I had to have it. And I just added these throw pillows. Because the color of the couch is this mustard orange stripe, it's vintage. I think it's mid-century from the 60s or the 70s. I can't really place it. Because it's orange, I wanted it to have a complementary color, so that I brought in this blue rug that I bought off of Etsy. And it's a Moroccan rug. It's also another bold piece in my living room, and I just love how they pair off of each other. And then I have these really cute stools that I got from a secondhand store in Silver Lake called Candid Home. Immediately when I first saw these, I was like, I don't want to buy them, but I kept thinking about it for 2 weeks, and I was like, I have to go back and get it. And they're this ostrich green leather, and the owner of Candid Home, she actually reupholstered these. So they're just a fun piece in my space. Some other things that I added are artwork. I have my record player, and then this coffee table. It's actually a clear acrylic, but I added contact paper to it, so that way it doesn't feel so lost in the space. This is probably one of my first upcycle projects. About 4 years ago, I bought the frame of this chair off of OfferUp. It's a Wasili chair. I got it for 30 bucks, and I just knew that I wanted to have like this cow print, something that I saw online. And I took it to an automotive shop, and I gave them the cowhide, and they reupholstered it for me. I have like these really cool art pieces. I got this off of Facebook Marketplace. It's a barbershop art. It's African barbershop art. I just love the colors in this. And what's so interesting about this is that I don't know if they do this now, but back in the day, they didn't have pictures of photography to show the styles of the hairstyles. So they would commission artists to paint these portraits of what the stylist could do in the shop. And then I also have this. This is one of my favorite Kanye West albums, is My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy. It's the album cover art, so I just framed it. So a part of my living room is my office desk, and this is where I make my YouTube videos. It's also where I work from home. And one of my favorite reupholstered projects is this Pollock chair. I bought it off a Facebook Marketplace. The leather originally was so tattered, like you couldn't even sit on it. So I had fabric that I bought from downtown LA at the fabric shop, and I took it to a place off of Washington Boulevard and they reupholstered it for me. This is probably one of my favorite projects. I didn't personally do it, but I did commission someone else to do it because it took forever to find someone that could do this chair. And it was just nice. This chair retails for a lot of money, and I was able to get a pretty good deal on it. Another thing about my office space here too is some of my favorite plants. I probably will also call all of my plants my favorite plants, but these are my two rubber trees. I've had this tree for over 4 years. I've had it and it was like this tall when I first got it. And then this one as well. So I put them together and it just helps create a separation from my office to my dining area. So now we're in the entryway area and I have a really cute lipstick mirror that I spray painted this burgundy red. I also got this console table from OfferUp. I drove out to like Rosemead to go get it. And then I also added this art print that I bought off of Etsy, and I love this mask. I got this at the Melrose Flea Market. But I just added these things to make this place feel eclectic, modern. I don't really know the particular style, but the elements just felt like they were not like each other, but they also feel like they belonged to each other, if that makes sense. And of course I have this beautiful Tenathy plants. My place is full of plants. I'm a plant mom and they just bring me a lot of light. I think what I enjoy about living in this space is that it forces me to be creative, especially because I live in technically it is a studio because there are no walls. However, the floor plan is designed in a way that it makes obvious sense where things should be laid out. I like the fact that because there's no walls, it makes me become more creative with using plants as separators for the rooms or using rugs to create division between the rooms and making sure that I'm putting things in my place that I feel are really necessary to this space. Like, of course I love to add little small things here and there, but it's just nice to think about like if something really serves a functional purpose in this space. And if it also looks great, that's an added bonus. Some tips I have for living in a small space include making sure that you are putting things in your space that you really love. I love function, but I also like for things to be functional and cute or show a side of my personality. So if I see something that I really like a coffee table, and it's not quite there yet, I will upcycle it in some unique way. But yeah, just be intentional about the things that you like and make sure that it serves a purpose in your space. But then also, if you like something and you don't know where to put it, just buy it because you will find space for it. Some challenges that I've faced living in a small space is having a designated office area because I do work from home. My last place, I did have a separate room specifically for an office, but here I had to just like tuck my desk in a corner, and I don't like the idea of putting my desk in my bedroom, so I knew I had to have it in the living room space area. So that was a challenge. Another challenge of living in a small space is just trying to figure out where to put stuff because I love to go secondhand shopping. And then sometimes I'm just like, I don't know if I really need this because I already have 3 vases. Do I really need another one? But I will get it and I will like put it on my dining room table or put it on my console table. And I like to move things around so the place always feels fresh to me. All right, so coming from my living room / office area, we're now in my kitchen. So one thing that really attracted me to this loft apartment was the cabinets, like the warm wood floors, the mahogany wood frame, the brick walls. They add a warmness, but the blue cabinets just add like this cool contrast. And I'm not really into contemporary design, but this was it. Also, this area was bare, so then I added these shelves because I wanted places to put my plants and my art and little decor pieces that I have. So these are IKEA shelves, and they are like a MDF board or something, and I just added burl wood contact paper that I got off online. So this art piece, there's a website called A Home Is Announced, and it's a public domain website where you can get free art, and they curated a list for Black art. So I actually printed this at my local library, and I added a frame that I got from the thrift store. That's another thing I love to do, is get frames from thrift stores, because you find like really unique ones and it's a really good price. I got this fabric from the Santa Monica flea market, and I just added it to the back just to create like this texture. The white wall was fine, but I didn't know what to do with this. So I was like, why don't I just put it behind a picture? And I just ended up putting it here. Now we are in my dining area. One of my favorite, I guess, secondhand finds are these Marcella Buller chairs. They're not original. However, the craftsmanship on it, I don't think I can get rid of them. Like the dovetailing on the chairs are just phenomenal. And I guess these are the leather seats, so that way they feel more sturdy. And I got these off of Facebook Marketplace. Literally, the lady posted it, and I messaged her. She was like, "You're the first person to message me." And she was like, "If you get it today, if you get these chairs today, they're yours." So I drove out. This is when I lived in Oakland. I drove out, I want to say like an hour and a half to get these chairs. And immediately when she gave them to me, she deleted the listing because everyone was messaging her about the chairs. Oh, and I love this too. This is another piece that I love. I got this from a brocante, or a flea market in Paris last April. This was the vase that I was talking about how I don't need any more vases, but I saw this vase, and initially I wasn't gonna buy it, but I ended up walking the entire flea market. I came back and I was like, I have to have it. This light, I bought this. I feel like a lot of my thrift finds I bought in San Francisco area, because I used to live there. I bought this Nielsen lamp off of Facebook Marketplace. The original lamp that was here was just like, I don't want to call it a boob light, but I guess that's I don't know the correct term for the original light that was here, but it was a more contemporary light. And I had this lamp, and I just knew that it fit in the space. It just added a charm to the space. So I would highly suggest that if you see a lamp that you like and you're scared of changing the fixture or something like that, definitely turn off the breaker. But there's so many YouTube tutorials to let you know how to change the lights. So if you see something that you really like, just get it, because it will definitely fit your space. Be patient with yourself when installing it. So one last piece of the dining room is this cool piece. It's a cabinet that I've used as a bar cart. I got this again off of Facebook Marketplace. I remember when I was living in the Bay Area, this was in Sacramento, so it was definitely a drive. But then I ended up going to some cool thrift stores after it. So this is probably one of my favorite pieces. I just love the ornate details on it. I've always wanted to make YouTube videos. I make YouTube videos here. Initially I knew I wanted to do something around home, fashion, beauty, those things, because those are my interest. I guess what inspires me to create content like that is, for me, home is like it's such an important place for me. And I know it's an important place for a lot of people too, but I want such a beautiful space, and I also want other people to feel like they should also have a beautiful space too. I think a big part of why I create content too is because I have so many different ideas that I just want to share with other people who would listen. And I also like the conversation of sharing my ideas, but then also people telling me about their ideas. It just feels like a community online. Through my content creation, my goal is to inspire people to be intentional and to really how to show their best self in their home. Because sometimes we go outside and we want to show our best selves, but sometimes we should also show our best self at home as well. All right, so in my bedroom, my solace, my safe space, I kept it kind of minimal in a sense. So here is this nightstand that I bought from Facebook Marketplace. This is one of my DIYs that I added contact paper. I've had it for a really long time, so now the sun has bleached some parts of it, so it looks kind of muted, but still love this thing. I have this Noguchi inspired lamp here. One thing that I really love to do is when I have coffee table books, as a way to add more art into my space, I like to keep them open. So I will flip to a different page in a book and I'll just open it and have it lay out, just so that way it adds more texture and more interest into my space. And I'm not always having to feel like I need to put things on the wall. All right, so here is a dresser that I bought about 4 years ago at Habitat for Humanity in Oakland. And this is probably one of my favorite stories to tell, because when I bought this, I did not know how I was gonna get it home. It didn't fit into my car, so I just left it there. Luckily, my friend's father was visiting from out of town and he had an SUV. So I literally asked her, I was like, hey, could you please ask your dad if he can help me bring this? And he made it work. And I will never not buy a piece just because I can't bring it home because of that. Here is my lacquer room divider. Probably like a top-notch secondhand find that I got last year. I bought it on my birthday last year at a secondhand thrift store in Pasadena. Originally it was $125, but he sold it to me for $100. It is 2 pieces. It's supposed to be one big piece, but it's 2 pieces, and I just never got around to fixing it. But maybe I will fix it, maybe I won't, but right now I just love how it looks in my space. And I have a lot of disco balls in my apartment, mainly because I love the way light refracts on these balls, especially when the sun comes in. You just start seeing like light speckles all around the space, and it just feels like I'm like having a party at home. And I just love how it looks. So I have this huge one, and I also have mini ones around my space. I think what I love about my home is that I feel safe here. I feel like every time I look at something, I'm feeling like I'm looking at something beautiful. Like, I put pictures of my family around. I put beautiful artwork of Black people around, so I feel like I can see a representation of me in my own home. And it just makes me feel so equipped to go outside, to be out in the world, because my home just feels so safe to me, and I feel so nurtured here. And I guess my favorite room in my apartment probably is my living room, just because it's so colorful and bold. And I love this couch that I'm sitting on. It's probably my favorite piece that I've ever gotten. I secondhand on Facebook Marketplace, and people ask me about it all the time. And I remember asking so many friends, like, hey, should I get this couch? And they're like, no, you shouldn't get it. But I just followed my gut and got it anyways. But yeah, it's one of my favorite things to look at too. And I love the color of it as well. The best compliment is that this place feels like you, or this place looks like you. Home means to me a place of rest, but also a place to truly be authentic, to be my best self, my worst self, my beautiful self, my ugly self, like all versions of me. And feeling like that makes me feel like I'm safe because of that. Like, I can show up at home in any way as possible and I still feel accepted in my space. Home feels like something that I feel like I was always yearning for, what that meant or what that meant to me. but I realize home is what I can create. I can create a beautiful space. I can create magical moments in my home, whether I'm by myself or inviting people over. And home just feels like something that I love, and when people come over, I also want them to feel loved and appreciated as well. Thank you, Homeworthy, for stopping by. Well, I got stuff to do, so I'll see you later. Bye.
Thanks for watching. Be sure to go to homeworthy.com for exclusive content, shopping guides, and so much more.